There we go. All right. I guess last few days have just been about watching this guy completely crash and burn. Excuse me. Pardon me. Sorry, I'm so exhausted. Yeah. Looks like it's been quite a morning.
Closer. Hello, everyone. My name is Lana Drews. In 2018, while I was living and working as a model in Beverly Hills, and I also owned a fashion software company, I had contact with Eric Swalwell on 3 separate occasions after meeting him socially. He offered me connections to further my software company, and I also had an interest in local politics. He invited me to 2 public events. I knew he was married at the time and that his wife was pregnant. He was my friend. On the 3rd occasion, I believe he drugged my drink.
Whoa-wee.
I only had 1 glass of wine.
Huh.
We were
I wonder where he got the drugs at.
supposed to go to a political event, and he said he needed to get paperwork from his hotel room. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated, and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me, and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness.
Oh boy, man. Okay. That just like,
And
as if it wasn't bad enough, that just took like a turn straight down to hell.
thought I died.
He thought she died.
Did not consent to any sexual activity. Although I did not undergo a rape kit at the time, I disclosed the assault to the people closest to me. I also recorded these events in my handwritten calendar. The assault and its impact were later documented during my therapy sessions at a sexual assault center in Connecticut. It had a profound impact on my mental health. I self-medicated in an unhealthy way.
I bet she did.
I did not want to live anymore. I cried all the time for years. At the time, I was in a dating relationship with a boyfriend I was fully committed to.
Wow.
I've never cheated in my life, and I would never have engaged in a consensual sexual encounter with Eric Swalwell. Right. That reality further underscores the non-consensual nature of what occurred. It was a politically unusual and intense time in Beverly Hills, and I was considering a run for city council, which placed me in proximity to political figures and events and added to the pressure to remain composed and silent. Eric was aware I owned a software company and he spoke repeatedly about his ability to make introductions in Silicon Valley.
Oh. Repeatedly dangled out there. Hey, I know people. The people you really want to know. People in Silicon Valley. As long as you, perform admirably, maybe I'll introduce you.
Referencing his
Creepy.
political representation and influence there, I was not interested in him romantically, but I was interested in the business relationship and professional connections he offered to provide.
So even after it happened, she didn't want to say anything because she didn't. I mean, she's let's face it, she's a woman, an aging woman in West Coast, in the Hollywood scene. Like, you wanna make your bag, and you want to make it quick. You want to get some money. You want to secure a future outside of a couple of years of modeling when you're young. So she shut her mouth, thinking, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, I suffer through it, he'll make those Silicon Valley introductions.
My delay in taking action against Eric was driven by fear, not doubt. Fear of his political power, his background as an attorney, and his family law enforcement ties.
What did she say? Family.
Or his background as an attorney and his family law enforcement ties.
Family law enforcement? I don't know anything about his family, so.
I have never doubted what happened. I stand with the other women who have come forward. And I will be making a report to law enforcement shortly with my attorneys.
Wow, man. Then there's all the footage of him, like, lobbing on that other girl.
Many people on the Hill knew. So what I will say is that many people on the Hill knew about this. Many reporters have come forward, even in talking to me, saying that they had heard stories about this. But I do think that he has serious criminal problems on his hand, and I do think that he might end up in jail, Jesse. And if I could just share with you for a moment, not only did I receive forensic reporting showing that, that infamous video of him in the hotel room was indeed him. It was not AI generated. But I'm also being told that, more stuff is going to be dropping in the next 24 hours. And then also
regular old Ted Bundy.
Potentially the individual that recorded that video in that hotel room, Jesse, was a female and she was underage.
Oh. Just so the audience is aware, there's a video that's circulating. Fox hasn't confirmed it yet. It appears to show Swalwell on a bed with maybe another guy making out with a girl.
Yeah, the other guy may be Ruben Gallego, I understand. Maybe. Let's see. There we go. To the point he was even asked about it.
Sitting next to someone. Was that you sitting next to him?
This is an example of the lies. No, I was not sitting next to him. I was not in the room. I was nowhere. I don't even know where it happened. This is
Now, granted, it is pretty difficult to say from that picture. It could be him.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Could also not be him. It could also be some other guy. I don't know.
Chris LaCivita and a bunch of other right-wing political operatives are pushing this narrative that somehow I was in that room with
Eric Swalwell, who up until a minute ago was your buddy?
Eric Swalwell, and that is
yeah. Okay. Oh, well, there we go. Adam Schiff and Ruben Gallego have both withdrawn their endorsements.
Another constituent?
God, these weird things he would do. These frickin'...
Another constituent?
Yeah, this is a constituent. Would you?
Oh yeah, it's totally a constituent that just happened to call and be on the phone when you walked by. OMG. Yeah, what, you would like to talk to them?
Would you like to talk to the congressman? Yes. Here he is.
This is Eric. I'm going to go sign it right now and reverse these tariffs.
This is so weird. Who? Why is there a small black child behind you? I'm confused. I'm actually kind of concerned for that child's safety.
To you about anything that you heard tonight from President Trump, speaking out at length from Mr. Avenatti, who I believe you just were able to hear, and new reports that there are new allegations being probed by the Senate regarding Judge Kavanaugh.
Good evening, Ari. I saw
Oh, here he is back in 2018.
Continued demeaning of victims of sexual assault, people who deserve to be heard, who deserve for their allegations to be investigated, and a president who wants to just rush this through. He criticized the Senate for even taking this long, Ari. And so for Brett Kavanaugh's sake, if he is innocent, I hope tomorrow he opens his statement and says, you know what, bring in all the victims, allow them to be heard, allow them to be questioned. That will clear his name if he's indeed innocent. And if he's not, for the sake of...
Oh, hold up. Is this a real photo of Gallagher wearing the shoes? That is a good question. This one in the top left looks highly questionable. Just at first glance, that looks super questionable. I don't know quite exactly what it is. There's something about the proportions that are just like his legs are way too small. Or something. I don't know. Doesn't look right. So I don't know. Maybe he just has really short legs. Oh, freakishly short. But I don't know. It just something about that doesn't look right. Okay. Okay, back we go. Oh, here he is getting grabby. Both of them getting grabby. There's the shoes. Creepy, man. Out of there, girl. Oh, man. Well, that's interesting. My best friend in the world. That's how Eric Swalwell described Ruben Gallego just months ago. Now Gallego's withdrawing his endorsement.
Tonight you get to meet my best friend in the world, Ruben Gallego.
Gallego. Sorry.
Tonight you get...
My best friend in the whole world, huh?
To meet my best friend in the world, Ruben Gallego.
Yeah, that seems like I don't know if I was this kind of guy, if I was a sleazy kind of guy, and I hung out with best friends who were sleazy kind of dudes too.
This is exactly
I bet that's what I'd be doing with my best friend.
what I'm talking about. Chris LaCivita and a bunch of other right-wing political operatives are pushing this narrative that somehow I was in that room with Eric Swalwell, and that is an absolute lie.
I don't know. Oh man. And there was that. Yeah, whoa, that was cuckoo. Here's a statement from last night. I'm deeply sorry to my... Such a bizarre statement. Deeply sorry to my family, staff, and constituents for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations made against me. However, but I must take responsibility and ownership for the mistakes I did make in the false allegations that were made against me. That I did make. Or did I? I'm aware of efforts to bring an immediate expulsion vote against me and other members. Expelling anyone and other members. Oh, who? So there's more? Expelling anyone in Congress without due process within days of an allegation being made is wrong. But it's also wrong for my constituents to have me distracted from my duties. Therefore, I plan to resign my seat in Congress. Oh, what benevolent leader. So nice. So nice. So good of him. He's just looking out for you. I will work with my staff in the coming days to ensure they are able, in my absence, to serve the needs of the good people of the 14th Congressional District. Oh, this is pretty neat.
Yes.
Busting the crew out of there.
Do it. Say it. Yes! Let's go! Pin. Get your seal cover. Seal cover. Here. Right there. Got it? We got you. I got you, laddie, so lean over. Take your time. Seal cover's on. All right, get it. All right. Four green. Ike, welcome home. Christina, welcome home. Yes. Jeremy, absolutely welcome home, brother. There it is, Reed. What's up? Welcome home, brother. Thank you. All right. Thank you. I also have something for you.
Oh, what did he bring?
Lad, you better have something better than
a cigarette, damn it. I want my Virginia Slims. I don't know, she didn't look like a Virginia Slim girl to me. I don't know. Okay, massive fire breaks out at Chinese. Oh, at freaking BYD's big ass parking garage. Look at that. That's crazy. Woo, wait, shit. Big ass fire. Oh Lord Jesus, there's a fire. Ain't nobody got time for that. Did that. And then there's this guy. Oh boy. Okay, so this is what's his name? Klubeck. Stephen Klubeck. This is the guy who is the billionaire backer of Eric Swalwell, who was Apparently putting Swalwell up in his nice
In
27-something
$2018.
million mansion. I guess Eric's kicked out now, apparently. They seemed like they were pretty close, like Mr. Klubik was really just behind his guy until, well, he wasn't. The first I've ever seen of Mr. Stephen Klubik. And, boy, I'm not impressed. I'm actually just kind of creeped out.
Relationship with Eric. Are you guys still friends?
Eric who? Is that clear? Don't bust the trust. You bust the trust, okay? You don't exist in my life. You don't bust the trust.
What would that be, like getting caught with hookers? Or
it's all about
is that the trust?
Having integrity.
Or wait, I guess it would be not getting caught with hookers would be the
integrity. Okay? I shake your hand, you shake my hand, we make a deal.
We make a deal. We don't get caught with hookers.
We work together. We all have to make California the best it could possibly be.
How's your relationship?
We rape, but we don't get caught.
With Eric. Are you guys still friends?
And if you get caught, you break the trust.
Eric who?
Creepy dude, man.
It's all about having integrity. Integrity. Okay? I shake your hand, you shake my hand, we make a deal. We work together. We all have to make California the best it could possibly be.
Is that what you call what you're doing, or how's that going? Woo. Not so good, my friend. Klubik. God, only thing I can think of. Only thing I can think of.
Now. Oh, let's follow that clue. This is too big a mystery for me. I think we better call in the Hardley Boys. Oh, no, not the goddamn... The Hardley Boys, two young whippersnappers with a taste for solving mystery. The Hardley Boys in the case of the World Trade Center conspiracy. So that's about the long and short of it, Hardley Boys. There were two towers that stood right here, and they're gone.
Come on, where is it?
Nobody knows who's responsible? There are theories, but nobody's certain. Where they got a lot more clues.
I was getting a clue like every 2 minutes. I got such a raging clue that I almost shot clue goo all over Joe.
Those
clue goo. There it is. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Clue goo.
How's your relationship?
Clue goo. Wonder how far their relationship extended. You know, on second thought, I don't want to know. Never mind. Okay. Down, down. Clue-goo. That is a classic episode. Too good. Okay. Come on. Man, oh man, we got a long one today. Yeah. What the? Oh man, it's so long it broke it. Try that one more time. Okay, there we go. Well, we saw probably all that. Reporting to law enforcement. Swift legal action coming. He raped me, she said. I'll be making a report to law enforcement shortly with my attorneys. I stand with the other women who have come forward. So how many others are there now? So far. And counting.
Look,
Speaker Johnson ready to expel Sheila Sherfilis McCormick
Do you support expelling Sheriff McCormick and Corey Mills?
Look,
Yes.
I, as you know, I have been a jealous guardian of due process around here. I do think certainly on Sheriff McCormick, the Ethics Committee has gone through all of its processes, and they've found some alarming facts. I think the facts are indisputable at this point, and so I believe it'll be the consensus of this body that she should be expelled. I mean, that certainly rises to the level that's needed.
What about Mills?
With regard to Mills, I'm not sure the status of the Ethics Committee investigation, and that's one of the things I'll be looking into today. So.
When does Gonzalez? Do you support expelling Sheriff McCormick and Corey Mills?
Oh, Corey Mills now too? What happened to Corey Mills? What? Oh yeah, all that bullshit from yeah. That's right. Okay, Hakeem Jeffries. Oh, this is hilarious. This one. Oh, this one.
Did you push Swalwell to resign? Did you push Swalwell to resign?
Hey, yo, check it. My guy.
Conversations that I've had will remain
I can't even hear him.
private.
Why did you call for him publicly to resign?
Member conversations that I've had will remain private.
Why did you
Those are conversations that I've had that will remain private.
call for him publicly to resign given these allegations?
He's made the right decision.
And what about Sheriff McCormick? Should she resign?
Hey, yo, check it.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Marco Rubio walking out, making history, holding the first direct Israel-Lebanon peace talks in decades. Huh. Recognize faces there. Oh no. Oh, what's his name? Judge, what's his name? Appeals court orders judge to end contempt investigation of Trump admin deportation flights. Judge Boasberg. Dirtbag. House to swear in Rep-elect Clay Fuller tonight. He will succeed Large Marge, who resigned. House and Senate both back for the first time today since late March.
To any foreign power is not subject to any foreign power
is Alito speaking.
Is pretty straightforward. So let me give you these examples.
Senate GOP is prepared to swiftly confirm a replacement for Alito if he happens to retire in the next coming, few weeks. Boy, that would piss him off, wouldn't it?
A boy is born here to an Iranian father who has entered the country illegally. That boy is automatically an Iranian national at birth, and he has a duty to provide military service to the Iranian government. Is he not subject to any foreign power?
Not within the meaning of the 1866 Act, Justice Alito, and that's clear from Wong Kim.
Yeah, this is from the other day, right? I don't know who they'll get in there in his place, but I guess if they're going to do it, now it's probably the time. Trump's blockade confirmed as success. Okay, what happened?
Right now, so far. Right now, so far so good. Apparently no interdictions to be reported here. I see on this map here, we took a cross section from a year ago in the Strait of Hormuz and compared it to what's happening between March 31st and April 7th. It's about a week's time. You see that red flow? Looks like a healthy artery coming out of here, the Persian Gulf around the Strait of Hormuz. And today you've got a much different picture. I would focus clearly right here on that particular crossing. Remember, that's the area where the bottleneck has been held held up in the Strait of Hormuz. I'll advance at one time here and show you a little bit here. Everything you see in green, these are major ports on Gulf countries, Gulf states, so on the left side of the Persian Gulf. On the right side, you've got the main Iranian ports. We've marked 6 here on our map. There's anywhere between 6, 14, up to 32, but these are the major ports now. That's why you've got one up by Karg Island and one here by Bandar Abbas as well. I'll advance at one time and watch this, all right? This is when people talk about these choke points, right? And they're all in the same geographic area, right? Talked a lot about the Strait of Hormuz, a little bit about the Suez Canal, and now this one, the crossing between Yemen and Djibouti. Got 3 major waterways there where you need access for the international economy to flow.
Yeah, Djibouti needs access to some waterways.
flow freely, okay? One more. This is what
I know the feeling, yeah.
What we think has happened in the last 24 hours. Now, we reported last hour that 3 ships did cross through the Strait of Hormuz today. One was from Panama, one was from the Cook Islands in the South Pacific, one was from Guyana there in the northern coast of South America. These are all considered to be Chinese ships. And this one here in the yellow, this one paused, turned around because of the blockade, and then continued its passage onward. So 4, 5, 6.
Sometimes Djibouti just has to go to the waterway and, get it done.
To go ahead and release more, do you not?
Todd Blanche just said he has offered every member of Congress to review oh, really? Unredacted Epstein files, no restrictions. We have released everything. We reviewed 6 million pieces of paper. We're not setting a single piece of paper to be released. I mean, there's certainly plenty of redactions, including pieces of paper that are entirely redacted. I mean, not the white space, of course, but are you counting that? Or? We said to Congress, any congressman can come in and spend as much time as they want looking at everything unredacted. That's something. That's good. I mean, I get that they cannot just toss it all out there. Let's see, how long is this? Oh, it's not too bad.
The authority to go ahead and release more, do you not? And you have the authority to go to Congress, perhaps?
No, we have released everything. So listen, we reviewed 6 million pieces of paper. What we released was anything associated with the Epstein files. So there, we are not sitting on a single piece of paper. Nothing that should be released. If we find something else tomorrow, we'll release it. I don't anticipate we will. So the misguided assumption that there is more to be released is because we reviewed millions and millions of pages within the department, millions of which had nothing to do with Epstein. So it's not as if we looked at a document and said, we're not going to release that. If we didn't release it, it's because it was not responsive to the law and therefore not part of the Epstein files. What we've done with Congress is we by law, we had to make certain redactions by law, including of victims and of PI information. But we said to Congress, any congressman can come in and spend as much time as they want looking at everything unredacted. And if you think we should be doing something, Congressman or Congresswoman, let us know and we will do it. And so we have that. I don't know how this department or this president can be more transparent than saying, American people, here's every single document in our entire database, and if we had to redact it because of victim names, anybody can come look at it if you're a member of Congress. No restrictions, unredacted.
I want to squeeze in one more topic, and that
okay, that's all right. Well, I look forward to hearing from those members of Congress very, very soon then. Can they get in there with more than like a team? Alone?
Following.
Here's more.
Been saying for the past year, which is the following: if there is a victim that has evidence against anybody they should absolutely report it to the FBI, and we will take it seriously no matter what. And so her call to Congress to have witnesses come forward and testify is not inconsistent with what the Department of Justice and President Trump, frankly, has been saying for many years. And so I know that
you have the authority to go ahead and release more, do you not? And you have the authority to go to Congress, perhaps?
No, we have released everything. So listen, we reviewed 6 million pieces of paper. What we released.
Trump just went off on the UK.
Well known in Scotland. Wind is a disaster. In Scotland and across the UK, wind farms. I know, it's a
Looks like he's posting some old clip of him with Starmer. I remember this. Yeah.
shame. It's not his fault.
As Europe is desperate for energy, and yet the United Kingdom refuses to open North Sea oil, one of the greatest fields in the world. Yeah. Tragic. Aberdeen should be booming. Norway sells its North Sea oil to the UK at double the price. They're making a fortune. The UK, which is better situated on the North Sea for purposes of energy than Norway. Good drill, baby, drill. It is absolutely crazy that they don't. And no more windmills. Somehow, I think they're going to keep going with the windmills. Just based on past behavior, I mean. Former Congressman Santos, George Santos, reveals the next Democrat who will resign. Oh, really? Who dis? Gallego, Ruben Gallego, Eric Swalwell's best buddy.
Screen right now, George. I gotta ask you about this tweet. Up on screen right now, George, is your tweet to Ruben Gallego.
Whatever.
I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
I don't even care. You say
kind of how I feel too.
You're telling the senator from Arizona, yo, you were like roommates with Eric Swalwell. What do you mean you didn't know about him? What do you mean he was living a double life? A lot of speculation because there are photos of them shirtless together in the desert. There's photos of them at parties. There's photos they were besties, birds of a feather kind of thing. There's a lot of online sleuths that are saying, well, George Santos has the receipts. George, you got the receipts on this one?
Ruben Gallego was my neighbor when I was in Congress. Our offices were next door to each other on the Longworth House office building. And
Interesting.
I can say this, revolving door is what his office was after hours. Second of all, Ruben Gallego and Eric Swalwell have this bromance situation going on in public. If you follow Caroline Wren's X page, it is probably the most entertaining thing because she is unearthing such pearls of absolute joy between the two of them that, I mean, and hey, I'm a gay man, and for me to say that was probably some of the most gayest things I've ever seen between two men.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, dude, like you're riding a camel. Like you're riding a camel in like jogging shorts in the middle of the desert. Like,
and one was in tiny little Speedos. Let's not forget, Gallego.
What? Hold a photo. Like, I want to see it.
Speedos. And second of all, yes, there are receipts that will be coming out soon. I'm just making sure that I protect myself legally before I put stuff out there. You know how the drill goes.
I do. I do. So
such as.
Just really quickly, George, and I know you have to go, but what do you mean? I have to ask you a follow-up. You said his office was a revolving door. Gallego's office was a revolving door, and that you were very close. You were close with both of them in proximity. What do you mean by that?
My office was literally next door to Ruben Gallego's. It's separated by 5 feet, right? We shared a wall, right? I have a habit of working late. I mean, as in when I was in Congress, it's no secret, I was obviously under indictment. So after we voted and after everything was over, everybody would go home, my entire staff. And in rare occasions, I'd have one staffer with me, probably Vish Burra, who would hang out as
Crazy Vish.
I'm going through now Discovery, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm reading Discovery paperwork to see what's going on in my case. And, on more on more than one occasion. I either bumped in with the congressman at the time coming in or out of his office, and always accompanied by different young women. So, you know, this is a pattern. It's a behavioral pattern. It's a culture that he and Eric Swalwell embraced in DC because they're arrogant and they thought they were above it all and they were just going to never get.
Yeah. Isn't that just kind of the vibe you get from just even that one tiny little clip of him with that hooker on the bed? Just 7 seconds says it all.
Caught. Now, look, where there's smoke, there's fire. Please keep the pressure on Gallego. If he wants to be transparent about this, release every shred of text, email, phone call, Snapchat, Instagram.
Yeah, come on, Ruben.
Twitter DMs with him and Swalwell, and come.
Yeah, you guys never engaged. You never engaged in that with him, right? So just put it all out there, you know. Oh, there's a nasty ass, big ass fucking fly down. Oh, that's. Need to hunt down the fly swatter. Heck no. Heck no. All right. Swalwell accuser says he should have never run for governor, knowing what receipts were out there. And yet he did. Almost like he, I don't know, like maybe certain people knew. And he knew that they knew, and he was running anyway. Because, I don't know, blackmail?
The fact that he has now dropped out of the governor's race and resigned from Congress, is that justice in your view?
No, it's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning. And I know personally that we're not walking away from this fight.
For me, justice won't be until he can't ever harm a woman ever again, and he has faced the consequences for the women that he has harmed.
I think in regards to the governor's race, he never should have ran for governor to begin with, knowing the kind of history and receipts that are out there. So that's a non-starter. And then in terms of Congress, I think he absolutely should have resigned. I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think we have served justice for his future victims.
Wow.
That won't exist anymore.
The fact that he has now dropped out of the governor's race and resigned from Congress, is that justice in your view?
No, it's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning. And I know personally that we're not walking away from this fight.
For me, justice won't be until he can't ever harm a woman ever again, and he has faced the consequences for the women that he has harmed.
Fucking
I
nailed
think
it.
in regards to the governor's race, he
Sorry that looped. I had to get the fly. It was just going to bother me.
Claims the Biden Justice
Trump DOJ dropping another bombshell. What now?
of Justice releasing a bombshell report on the weaponization of government. It claims the Biden Justice Department, led by former Attorney General Merrick Garland, weaponized the law to target pro-life defendants and tried to give them longer prison sentences. And that includes the case of pro-life activist Mark Houck. The father of 7 was charged with obstructing access to an abortion clinic. A SWAT team of more than a dozen people raided his home, arresting him in front of his children. He faced up to 11 years in prison. A jury later acquitted him. You'll remember we covered this story, and here he is on America's Newsroom after that.
Look, I'm a pro-lifer, and I've been a pro-lifer. I've been an activist for
what this?
For 20 plus years, and you know, we
all know all the pro-life people that were targeted. Okay, yeah.
Happening, but the federal government did come after me with the full force of the law.
I know a fair amount of the people that were working on this behind the scenes. So
and raided my home on September 23rd as a response to that, and you know, here we are 4 months after that raid, vindicated hopefully with no issue with appeal.
And we remember that well. Well, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is with us here. Thank you so much for being here.
Morning.
I want to put a couple of statistics here. Average 26.8 months for pro-life defendants versus 12.3 months for pro-abortion offenders. And this from a Biden official, former.
Crazy.
Biden officials saying the Civil Rights Division brought law enforcement leaders, crisis pregnancy center representatives, faith leaders, and reproductive health care staff.
This is Ed Martin's weaponization working group at work right here.
Together to address the real violence, threats of violence, and obstruction that too many people face in our country when it comes to reproductive health care. We enforce the law even-handedly and put public safety at the center of this work. I imagine you disagree with that.
I do, and I disagree not because it's just my opinion. I disagree because of the work that we did over the past year at the department, understanding what happened that led to these completely inappropriate results. And prosecutors have a big say in sentencing in the federal system. The judge ultimately imposes a sentence, but what we saw is prosecutors arguing for really harsh sentences, inconsistent with what they should have been doing and inconsistent with what they were arguing when it was exactly the opposite. And we saw internal emails, internal correspondence, which is now part of the report, where Department of Justice prosecutors are working hand in hand with NGOs and nonprofits to target and go after pro-life individuals who were not breaking the law. Right. Okay? And I'll tell you what, there's no emails in my inbox from NGOs telling me what to do.
Well, it sounds like there are some emails in the inboxes of certain people from NGOs telling them what to do. Wonder who that might be. Who else, anyway? Okay. DNI Tulsi Gabbard yesterday. Newly declassified records expose how deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that Congress used to usurp the will of the American people and impeach Trump in 2019. Yeah, the phone call. Yep. George Santos from yesterday. When I was in Congress, I used to talk to staff and reporters on the Hill a lot. During that time, I learned about the activities taking place in the... Oh, back to the cages. I remember him talking about this. In the cages, which are the storage rooms in the basement of the House office buildings. I reported it to the House admin chair at the time, Brian Steele, and he did nothing. But over the course of my time on Capitol Hill, I learned a lot of members had rumors and or allegations against them. Now, I'm not the sex police and never dug into it, but to name a few rumors I heard about when I was there of members engaging in lewd or alleged sexual misconduct, like behavior with staff or reporters. Eric Swalwell, top of the list. Tony Gonzalez, top of the list. That's the guy who just resigned after the girl like burnt herself to death, right? The girl who worked for him was having an affair with her or something. Apparently, some others too. And the girl like self-immolated or some shit. Crazy. Max Miller, Republican Ohio. Dan Muser, Republican Pennsylvania. Matt Rosendale, former rep of Montana, Republican. Ruben Gallego, Arizona, Democrat. Nancy Mace, huh? Interesting. Anthony Desposito. Mark Green. Lori Chavez. Oh, yeah, DeRaymer. She's now... Did she get appointed to? Was it? Oh, come on now. Secretary of Labor. Huh. Brian Steele. Oh, him too. Cory Booker, of course. That adds up. And Bob Menendez, huh? Gold Bar Bob. Getting dirty in the cages. Or elsewhere. Who knows where. Swalwell's fifth victim says she's been contacted by 3 more women about Swalwell since yesterday. Oh.
That you just, how many people have reached out to you that you just mentioned, and have you heard from Mr. Swalwell? He says he's going to fight these allegations.
3 other women have reached out to me just since I announced this press conference yesterday. I have not heard from Mr. Swalwell, no.
How many people have reached out to you that you just mentioned, and have you heard?
Of course not. Of course he hasn't. Doug Burgum, Interior Secretary. Now it says major groundbreaking on natural gas pipeline in New York City. Enough natural gas to power 2.3 million homes. Thousands of jobs supported as a result. Not bad. Energy costs would be lowered roughly $1,000 per household. Ideally, hopefully. Oh, Senator Ron Johnson. Eric Swalwell likely fell for an Intel honeypot op. Well, that's always been the joke about him, hasn't it?
Somebody who worked
bang bang the fang
in SCIFs, somebody who works in top secret and classified settings, somebody who has a clearance. How is it exactly that Eric Swalwell, who was...
I gotta say, I would not be surprised at this point to see Eric Swalwell take the coward's way out.
One of the leading members of the House Intelligence Committee would allow himself to be taken in by a Chinese spy and to be filmed in bedrooms in New York. It just seems like such idiotic behavior, such behavior that would make him a mark, perhaps, right? If you wanted to blackmail a member of Congress, this is exactly how you do it. And doesn't this kind of expose the game here, that these guys in the Intelligence Committee aren't that intelligent?
Well, it certainly exposes, how awful their leadership is. Supposedly, all this stuff is, whenever this finally gets revealed, so, well, everybody knew that. Obviously, I didn't, but I would think Democrat leadership would have known that. They should have known that. Certainly before you put somebody on the Intelligence Committee, you probably ought to do a background check on that particular member of Congress. Understand that there aren't skeletons in their closet that could be used as blackmail. So the fact that the Democrat leadership didn't conduct those types of inquiries on members they put on the Intelligence Committee that get a whole lot more secure information and classified information than regular members of Congress. I don't have access to a lot of that information. And let's face it, these agencies, no matter who's in charge, they hide their secrets. They do not give Congress the type of information Congress really deserves or needs to do effective oversight. We get snippets, we get some information, but again, I've been doing this now for many years, and I continue to be frustrated, whether it's the Biden administration or quite honestly the Trump administration. Again, it's not necessarily the president's fault. It's the deep state actors that are not going to give up the goods. They're not going to reveal their wrongdoing. They know what they did. They know how to hide it. It's really a game of cat and mouse, and it's very difficult for Congress to get the truth out of these agencies.
Do you think that some of these deep state agencies honey trap guys like Eric Swalwell because he's such a dork and he's so sure of himself and he's such an imbecile? And do you think that there are operations here to compromise him, get him to do what they want?
Duh.
I think that's exactly
clearly what's happening here.
Happened with China. I don't know whether our agencies are engaged in the same thing. It wouldn't shock me if they did. Okay. Again, I'm not a fan of the federal government in any of its forms. I'm just not. I mean, our founders never envisioned a government this massive, this powerful, this intrusive into our lives. They understood that we're men and women, we're imperfect, we're not angels, so you need some measure of government so you don't live in chaos and anarchy. But they never envisioned a government this large, this powerful, with all these agencies spread out there just violating America's constitutional rights. It's an outrage.
Indeed.
For me
Lee Zeldin
personally,
on natural gas pipeline in New York.
I'm a Long Islander and New Yorker, and for a long time, Long Islanders, downstate New Yorkers have been talking about the need for more natural gas. Well, President Trump made it, as Secretary Bergen pointed out, he made it a top priority when he first sat down with us, the National Energy Dominance Council, after he was sworn back in, and he wanted to get NESE over the finish line. And here we are, we're talking millions of downstate New Yorkers being able to have access to this natural gas. Now, in New York, they have banned the extraction of natural gas, so that's why we have to go to Pennsylvania for natural gas. We really should be looking at New York. And in New England, by the way, there are millions of New Yorkers that want this natural gas, and that's why we have been advocating for another pipeline called Constitution Pipeline to get built to deliver natural gas from Pennsylvania to New England. President Trump is a builder. He wants to build pipelines all across America. NESE should be the start. It shouldn't just be a one and done, but this is a pretty big one to celebrate.
Good. All right. Chairman Grassley calling for a clean 18-month extension of FISA Section 702 while applauding the Trump admin for implementing his pro-transparency reforms. Yeah. Bill Hemmer says, I just got off the phone with a senior Trump admin official. What I can tell you is that a lot is happening today and tomorrow. We have all the ingredients of a deal, but it's not all there yet. Here.
Some news?
A little bit. Just got off the phone with a senior official with the administration. What I can tell you is that, quote, a lot is happening today and tomorrow. We have all the ingredients for a deal, but it's not all there yet, which goes a little bit along the lines of what J.D. Vance was saying last night with Brett. The blockade with regard to Iran has Iran, quote, really fearful, which chokes off their economy. So watch that now with the U.S. Navy trying to interdict any ships passing in the Strait of Hormuz, Gulf of Oman, up into the Persian Gulf. So
all right.
It's a little bit of something.
A little bit more. Okay. Some news?
A little bit.
Okay. Oh, here's Klubik, billionaire, backer of Eric Swalwell. Swalwell was living in his nice-ass $27-something million home.
We just wrapped up a one-on-one interview with Stephen Klubik. At one point, when he was running for governor of California, but he dropped out to endorse Eric Swalwell, a decision he clearly regrets. Did you suspect this at all?
No, I was.
Anyone buy that? Even a little bit? Anyone?
Blown away.
A political
complete surprise. Like what?
Explosion.
Like blown away.
Like OMG. Like, can you even believe it?
Billionaire Stephen up a one-on-one interview with Steve
because that's what
billionaire Stephen Klubik, once a major donor and supporter of Eric Swalwell, now publicly turning on him with rage,
mad
amid sexual assault allegations.
I am no longer a Democrat.
What do they say about those who scream loudest, whine, bitch, and moan the loudest?
I'm now a libertarian Republican because that's what a blue dog.
Oh, really? Whoa.
A Democrat used to be.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations.
Swalwell posting this video.
Well, I'd love to see you put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Klubik. I'll believe it when I see it.
Friday from Klubik's Beverly Hills mansion, pushing back.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false.
But since then, the fallout has only intensified. The Democratic frontrunner for California governor dropping out of the race, resigning from Congress, and being kicked out of Klubik's home.
And I said, pal,
I've got such a raging clue right now.
You busted the trust. I'm disappointed and disgusted. Get the out of here.
Now, a political scramble with 2 Republicans and 7 Democrats all fighting for the top 2 spots in June's primary.
I am horrified by what's been alleged.
There are still survivors who are waiting for some justice.
Rushing to pick up Swalwell's supporters. How does this impact the race for governor in California?
It creates a void that Democrats haven't been able to figure out in the last 6 months, and they're going to have to figure out probably in the next 6 days.
A former senior communications advisor for Swalwell tells Fox 11 they're horrified over the allegations, adding, "We were lied to by someone we trusted to lead the state."
You don't sleep. We're with those you work with. You don't do it.
Outrage echoing across.
Dude, he is fucking
California.
creepy, man. Like, what on earth?
Swalwell allegations, adding we were lied to by someone we trusted to lead the state.
You don't sleep.
You don't sleep with people you work with. You just don't do it.
With those you work with. You don't do it.
Outrage.
Like, what?
Outrage echoing across California as ballots for the primary hit mailboxes next month. How's your relationship with Eric? Are you guys still friends?
Eric who? Is that clear? Don't bust the trust. You bust the trust, okay? You don't exist in my life.
Swalwell put out a
okay, big guy
statement Monday denying the allegations and apologizing. Reporting in Beverly Hills, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Bizarre, man. So weird. Some alleging Ruben Gallego. Yes.
Some sense of what's going on. I think there are a lot of people.
Oh man, that dead on looks like him, man. Like straight up.
It seems impossible that they didn't have some sense of what was going on. I think there are a lot of people saying a lot of these things.
Oh yeah. Yep, he's toast. Marco Rubio just made history. What do we got? More on the talks.
To be joined by two countries that the United States wants to have strong relations with, and we're obviously very happy to serve in this facilitating role. This is a historic opportunity. We understand we're working against decades of history and complexities that have led us to this unique moment. And the opportunity here, I know some of you are shouting questions about ceasefires. This is a lot more than just about that. This is about bringing a permanent end to 20 or 30 years of Hezbollah's influence in this part of the world, and not just the damage it's inflicted on Israel, the damage it's inflicted on the Lebanese people. We have to remember the Lebanese people are victims of Hezbollah. The Lebanese people are victims of Iranian aggression, and this needs to stop. And so our hope here, and I know this will be a process, okay, all of the complexities of this matter are not going to be resolved in the next 6 hours, but we can begin to move forward to create the framework where something can happen, something very positive, something very permanent, so that the people of Lebanon can have the kind of future they deserve, and so that the people of Israel can live without fear of being struck by rocket attacks from a terrorist proxy of Iran. So that is the hope here today. That is what we are beginning to work. We are joined by excellent people who will be in a position to obviously take this back to the respective capitals. This is a process, not an event. This is more than just one day. This will take time, but we believe it is worth this endeavor, and it's a historic gathering that we hope to build on. And the hope today is that we can outline the framework upon which a permanent and lasting peace can be developed, so that, as I said, the people of Israel can live in peace, and the people of Lebanon can live not just in peace, but the prosperity and security that they deserve. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Trump hitting back at the Pope.
Italian newspaper. Yes, he was speaking with an Italian newspaper, and in that conversation, he said this about the Pope. He doesn't understand and shouldn't be talking about war because he has no idea what's happening. Italian newspaper. Minister George.
Third straight day.
Took a shot at the Italian.
Trump snaps at Italy's right-wing Prime Minister Meloni.
Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who you see the two of them there, they have had pretty friendly relations up until this moment in time. He said, she had said that his attacks on the Pope were unacceptable.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she can't not say that. She's Italian.
President Trump responded to that, saying it's her who's unacceptable because she doesn't care if Iran has a nuclear weapon and would blow up Italy in 2 minutes if they had a chance. Took a shot at
Al Lambert just called it out. Who dat? Oh yeah, Axelrod visiting Pope Leo. That's right. We just heard about that like a couple days ago, didn't we? Interesting.
100% political, okay? This is all about trying to hurt President Trump's Catholic vote during the midterms and Republicans during the midterms. If you look at play out the dots here, David Axelrod goes and visits.
Oh my God, the arrogance of this. There's a billion Catholics in the world. They're all worried about Trump's election in the midterms?
Clearly, I'm striking a chord here.
Let's let him finish the thought.
David Axelrod goes and visits Pope Leo last week. They're talking about Obama going to visit Pope Leo. Pope Leo's from Chicago. All of a sudden, now Pope Leo is out attacking Trump and the policies of the United States and Israel. In a much more forceful way. You have 3 cardinals come out today attacking the immigration policy. This is all about trying to get the Catholic vote against Trump. And let me add one more thing.
There's a lot of flaws in this argument.
No, there's no flaws.
They're going to succeed.
There's no flaws.
Including that none of the things that you're describing
is the chief strategist for Obama.
He's also from Chicago, but that's not why he went.
Saying he's not political. Why is he meeting with the chief strategist for both Obama's campaigns and in the White House?
Pope
really? Would he have a
I mean, that's kind of hard to ignore.
Possible reason to meet with the chief political
J.D. Vance met with the Pope before the last one died. Exactly. What was he doing Francis there? met with J.D. Vance. Pope Francis was extremely critical.
J.D. Vance is Vice President of the United States.
Hold on a second. Pope Francis was extremely critical of Trump. He was extremely critical of the immigration rhetoric from Trump and his allies. He still met.
Let me add one more thing that Pope Leo's not critical of.
What's the conspiracy?
Because let me ask you this. Why has Pope Leo been, when Iran killed 30,000 plus of their own citizens, he didn't call out the Iranian regime at all. He said we need to stop violence. That was very milquetoast. That wasn't calling out the Iranian regime, and yet he's calling out the United States and Israel.
But war is never the solution. Jesus was a peacemaker.
But he didn't call out the Iranian regime.
CNN. Oh, Ruben Gallego calls a press conference to address the rumors that he was in the room with Eric Swalwell. He's having to call press conferences. That's great.
Thank you everyone for being here. I called this today because there's just a lot of rumors going around about me.
Yeah, I mean, what's up with that, buddy?
About my family.
You got something you need to say, or?
And, unfortunately, this is not the first time. I had to deal with the same BS. In 2024 and 2023, when they ran millions and millions of dollars of smears against me, lied about my family, and sustained damn people again. Carrie Lake, Chris LaCivita, bunch of political operatives. They couldn't do in 2024, trying to do again in 2026. So I want to make a couple of things very clear. Number one, Eric Swalwell lied to all of us. He lied to the most powerful people in this country. And they trusted him. They trusted him with some of the most sensitive spots in our government, whether it was on Judiciary Committee, Intel Committee, impeaching Donald Trump. And that clouded my judgment. My friendship with him, our family's friendship together with him, clouded my judgment. And I was wrong. I deeply, deeply regret that. The women that came forward are courageous, and they still deserve justice. But to be clear again, I also had no knowledge of predatory behavior, sexual assault, or harassment. And unfortunately right now, the same people that are attacking me in 2024 are using this horrible situation that's been thrown upon these women, thrown upon Eric Swalwell's family, and using this as an excuse to politically attack me, lie about me, and lie about my family. And I will not take that lightly. So with that, I'll gladly take any questions, because we're here, and I'm not going to let the same thing play again.
I don't buy it. I don't believe him.
They've laid out a very...
POTUS has flipped the script. This is Mike Waltz, UN ambassador, Mike Waltz.
They've laid out a very basic framework for Iran to behave as a normal nation. Number one, stop supporting terrorist proxies. Number two, you cannot have a nuclear program, as not only President Trump has said, as the United Nations has said in resolution after resolution for decades. That's both enrichment and highly enriched uranium. And you have to open the sea lanes. And that's this latest action from the president that says you cannot hold the entire world hostage. You cannot, even though this Iranian regime started its existence by holding Americans hostage, you can't hold the world's economies hostage. He has flipped the script. You have tremendous naval assets there, and the Central Command just put out its statistics in the sense of it is turning Iranian ships around. Iran doesn't get to choose the winners and losers on the global economy. The United States will do that until all ships are open. So no ships come out or all ships come out.
Fox News calls out CBS 60 Minutes for intentionally creating a war of words between Trump and the Pope.
Yeah. So,
of course they did.
Do you think this has been kind of intentionally created by the media?
Well, yeah, last night on 60 Minutes, Nora O'Donnell featured 3 left-of-center cardinals. You'll remember Cardinal Cupich, who tried to give Dick Durbin, a Catholic lifelong supporter of abortion, a Lifetime Achievement Award recently. Well, these 3 cardinals condemned ICE agents, the Iran war, and the Trump administration. So, look, clearly the president was watching this. Nora O'Donnell has now even confirmed. She talked to the president. He was watching. You've heard of rope-a-doping? This is pope-a-doping. Nora O'Donnell seems to have known what she was doing, Laura.
This all kind of started after our 60 Minutes report last night that included criticism not only from the Pope, but also these 3 influential cardinals. It appears that President Trump may have been watching that.
Yeah, well, those were red cardinals there, Ray. For sure.
Well, here's the big problem with this. This comes on the eve of the midterms. This is clearly, it feels like a political whiff of something moving here. The Pope met with David Axelrod last week, and now you've got these 3 cardinals who I talked to a number of bishops today. These 3 cardinals represent absolutely nobody but themselves. Okay, so it feels like they were trying to provoke the president into a reaction.
Of course they were. Using the Pope to do it too. FBI Director Kash Patel confirms the Bureau is actively investigating multiple allegations, sexual misconduct made by several women against Eric Swalwell.
Director Kash Patel inviting Swalwell to
his #1 rival.
Sit down with the agency to discuss the allegations and also encouraging those with relevant information to come forward. And today, here in the Los Angeles area, we are expecting to hear from at least one more accuser. She'll be appearing with her lawyers at 9:30 a.m. local time, 12:30 Eastern, at a press conference in Beverly Hills to describe her claims and talk about her next legal steps. Harris, Director Kash Patel inviting Swalwell to sit down with the agency to discuss the allegations and also encouraging those with relevant information to come forward. And today, here in the Los Angeles area, we are expecting to hear from at least...
Oops, I looped.
In the case
of...
Pelosi
just forced Swalwell out, according to reports.
In the case of Eric Swalwell, the former speaker and fellow Californian Nancy Pelosi, I am told, picked up the phone and called Swalwell on Friday night and said, you got to drop out of the governor's race, because remember, he was a leading candidate, and also made clear that he should resign from Congress. She was at GW with our old friend and colleague Frank Sesno yesterday, and he asked about the situation.
If you have a challenge that you have to address, it's best addressed not as a candidate for governor and not as a member of Congress.
Some Republicans and others are saying that Democrats turned kind of a blind eye, that they knew what he was up to or what the allegations were.
That is absolutely positive.
In the case of...
Yeah, sure. AOC defames President Trump, saying he's been declared by a judge to be a rapist. They're still going with that. What is she even? On a bicycle?
Raped a woman, and by
she's on an electric scooter.
All means and circumstances.
Oh my gosh!
President of the United States
zipping around DC on a little electric scooter
is a rapist.
Can you imagine seeing that shit?
The President of the United States is
I have seen some shit in my time in DC over the years, but this I have not.
implicated in the Epstein files. He is convicted in court on 34 counts of fraud, felony fraud. And I'm sorry, it has trickle-down effect.
Jingle, jingle.
Trickle-down effect. Because when that guy can do it and become president of the United States, then what happens is that you get all these members that think, oh,
Good to see she's wearing her TARD helmet.
well, you know what? I can, you know, being a member of Congress
Gotta stay safe.
is nowhere near the responsibility of being president of the United States. I can abuse people and still keep my job too. I'm sorry, and I know that some people are going to be mad about that. I know Republicans are going to be pissed off that I said that, but genuinely, truly, deeply, if you support and think Donald Trump should continue to be president of the United States, then unfortunately, you have no leg to stand on in talking about what members of Congress should resign. Fortunately, I have the same standard for everybody.
Oh, there's more.
Has been
She joins Barack, Hillary, Zelensky, and most of the globalist world in celebrating Orban's defeat in Hungary, of course.
Orban in Hungary has been working very closely with Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, the U.S. right wing, the Brazilian right wing, and ascendant nationalist movements globally. And so Viktor Orban's defeat is also, his defeat and the victory over him is also a victory for all of us across the world. It's a victory for all pro-democracy movements from the United States to Brazil and beyond. And it's an incredible moment for all of us. So thank you to the people of Hungary for your brave choice in organizing. Viktor Orban in
Pelosi claims Democrats had no idea about the sexual misconduct allegations tied to Eric Swalwell. Never heard even an inkling of it, I'm sure.
Some Republicans and others are saying that Democrats turned kind of a blind eye, that they knew what he was up to.
No, that's
or
not
what
true.
the
That
allegations
is
were.
absolutely positive. And it's true that they
Kind of, sort of, a little bit.
that, but it is absolutely not
You had
true.
no idea.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I had none whatsoever.
He repeats several times for emphasis. Doesn't sound like someone who's terribly sure of themselves. Impeachment reversal in play in a, let's see, stunning legal push. The president could vacate to erase his impeachment. What? How? What? Okay, hold on.
Meantime, just a
Explain, please.
little bit ago, the president retweeted one of my stories with an admonition to the great Harvard law professor, Alan Dershowitz. You should go do this. What is he talking about? Last night, here on Real America's Voice, Alan Dershowitz suggested that the president now had the legal right to go to either the Chief Justice of the United States, John Roberts, who presided over the impeachment proceedings of 2019, or to Congress and ask Congress, you ready for this, to vacate, to erase his impeachment because of the evidence that Tulsi Gabbard has now made public of cheating. What is that cheating? They knew President Trump's chief accuser, the alleged whistleblower, the guy who filed that complaint in August of 2019, had, one, misled the intelligence community in his complaint, two, had serious issues of bias, and three, knew nothing firsthand. Everything was hearsay, first, second, and third hearsay. Those three elements were kept from the president's defense team, the Senate jurors, the House impeachment managers. Alan Dershowitz said, hey, when this happens in a criminal case, it's a Brady violation. They usually vacate the conviction. I think the president can go and vacate this impeachment finding in December, literally erase it from the books through a vote of Congress or by a declaration by the Supreme Court justice who was the trial judge. The president this morning shared that story and said, Alan, you should go do it. I think he just hired Alan Dershowitz. We're trying to get that confirmed, but keep a close eye on that one. Listen, Russia collusion became Ukraine collusion. It was one continuous operation. Then Ukraine handed off to two other scandals. The whole goal was to pin down Donald Trump with any fake narrative they could get, and now we are unraveling that narrative. I really want to shout out Tulsi, John Ratcliffe, all the people who've been working to defeat the deep state and get me these documents. They had to do a lot of firefights to get these documents clear. They deserve a lot of credit. These are pretty explosive documents.
Interesting.
No, very insanely explosive. And Tulsi just been a laboring oar on this. Just amazing. I just want to go to something though. The vacate, I got it, and that's a historical record.
It is a historical record.
But the implication of the vacate is that there are a bunch of people that are guilty of crimes to actually bring it and put the nation through that. When do we go to part two? In the vacate process, Shifty Schiff, Swalwell, all of them. There's 20 or 30 of these guys that knew they were lying, right? Coordinated their lying from MSNBC, the New York Times, all of it. This is the vast conspiracy. When do we go from the vacate process to let's round them up and throw them in prison process?
Yeah. The last night there was a big tweet by Kash Patel's chief spokesman at the FBI. His name is Ben Williamson, saying, "We've been reviewing this evidence that Tulsi Gabbard made public." It's the same. In fact, he used the same analogy I did, which is this is Russia collusion 2.0. Why is that important? In these documents are evidence that potentially impeaches the testimony of some of the witnesses at the trial. You're going to see a story from us in a couple days. We're going to show you what was testified to and what now we believe the truth is. That could lead to several people being identified as having given false testimony to Congress in an impeachment proceeding. The statute of limitations on the specific testimonies will have expired. That's the role that the deep state managed to succeed at. Keep this a secret for 6 years. But when you move to a conspiracy, and once they can show that Russia handed off to Ukraine, Ukraine handed off to January 6th handed off to classified documents, you can go back and charge some of the people with false statements. I am told last night that the FBI identified 2 people from these documents that they got who testified something different than what's in the documents. Now, whether that turns out to become part of the criminal case or the conspiracy case, we'll wait and see. But that process is you got to get that conspiracy laid out so that you can go back and charge old crimes that the deep state managed to keep hidden. But that's what's going on. That's what Jason Kanonis is doing. That's what Kash Patel's doing. That's what Todd is doing. And I think when you look at that team right now, there's been a lot of motion since Pam Bondi left the Justice Department.
Indeed. Funny that. Fake pop-up ads are stealing crypto wallets from unsuspecting victims. Yep, if you're into crypto, watch out, please. Take care out there. AI is getting super good at convincing people that it's, asking for your information, coming from the actual source itself. It's great at faking. People are great at using it for this. Like, be careful. Ever get funny text messages, emails? Watch out. Lululemon faces a new investigation based on claims that its yoga pants and other products may contain toxic chemicals.
Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
Lululemon is at the center of a state investigation into the use of so-called forever chemicals. In a statement released Monday, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton said his office is reviewing whether the company misled customers about the health impacts of its products, saying, quote, emerging research and consumer concerns has raised questions about the potential presence of PFAS in their clothing. PFAS have historically been used in a wide variety of textiles to make them water and stain resistant. But like their nickname suggests, Plus, forever chemicals can linger in the environment for hundreds or even thousands of years. And studies
how nice.
have linked them with possible adverse health effects in humans, including increased risk of certain kinds of cancers. In a statement, Lululemon said it had previously used PFAS in its durable water repellent products, but the company says it phased out use of the chemicals 3 years ago. That's part of a wider trend among big clothing brands, says Arlene Bloom, a research scientist at Berkeley who studies PFAS.
They're chemicals you don't want to use on anything unless you absolutely need them. But that doesn't mean you wear PFAS
Sounds like something I should be wearing on my body at all times.
clothing and you get sick. It means that you get some exposure, which adds to all kinds of other exposures you get from, air pollution and food that might be problematic. So we're all exposed to some toxic chemicals, and we want to minimize that across the population.
Now, Bloom says a major reason clothing brands began abandoning PFAS was because of 2 state laws that went into effect in California and New York last year, banning the sale of clothing containing those forever chemicals. Vlad?
Lululemon.
Gross, man. Ugh. Okay. U.S. oil prices extend losses to nearly 6% on the day and drop below $94 per barrel. Back down again. Oil prices now down 11%, roughly, since the blockade, quote unquote, roughly 24 hours ago. SpaceX now using a voice-based AI assistant powered by Grok to handle Starlink customer support calls. Not surprised. It's getting pretty good. The voice stuff really actually takes relatively little computing power compared to, other things, generating images and videos and even just heavy, deep research in text. The voice models can be super light, really lightweight, shockingly so.
We are seeing Grok be very helpful in things like customer service. The AI is infinitely patient and friendly, and you can yell at it, and it's still going to be very...
I've played with the voice changer stuff on my own machine here. Can make anyone's voice, train a custom model on anybody's voice, and then change your voice into anyone's.
Nice. So
that's good.
Or just type out text and have it generate text on whatever voice you want.
Yeah, and so I think in terms of improving the quality of customer service and sort of issue resolution, AI is already, Grok is already doing quite a good job of that at SpaceX and Tesla, and we look forward to offering that to other companies.
No, that's fantastic.
Interesting. Yeah, here we go. CEOs are betting AI will augment work rather than displace all workers. And I think probably kind of a mix of the two. I don't think it's going to be near as bad as the doomsayers say. I don't know that it's going to be quite as good as the acolytes say either. Somewhere in between. But I think especially at first, this is definitely going to be the case. It's going to just make people able to do a lot more work. Products will become cheaper as a result. All kinds of things will. Now that could have all kinds of unintended fallout too. I don't even know. I don't know what this is going to bring, but it's going to be interesting. AI-driven pushpaganda? The fuck kind of... What even is that? Pushpaganda scam exploits Google discovered to spread scareware and ad fraud. Pushpaganda. A new one. A novel ad fraud scheme that's been found to leverage search engine poisoning SEO techniques, and AI-generated content to push deceptive news stories into Google's Discover feed. Yep. And trick users into enabling persistent browser notifications that lead to scareware and financial scams. A lot of these are foreign. Vietnam, for one. Middle East, Pakistan. China. A lot of them, unfortunately, target the right wing specifically. President Trump judicial nominee just flipped an Obama judge in federal judiciary. Court's now turned red. Oh, weird. Google adds AI skills to Chrome? What? Oh, interesting. I actually don't use Gemini much. Only for search, usually. Looking for like up-to-date info. It's good at that. Mediocre at the rest. Hey, Trump says I'm working with Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, and Chairman Jim Jordan and Chairman Rick Crawford to get a clean extension of FISA 702 through the House of Representatives this week, asking Republicans to unify and vote together on the test vote to bring a clean bill to the floor. We need to stick together when this bill comes before the House Rules Committee today to keep it clean. China's entire Middle East strategy just suffered 2 humiliating blows. The East-West pipeline is up and running, relieving pressure from the Strait. Yep. Pakistan sent jets and troops to Saudi Arabia.
United States, these are huge blows to Beijing. The restoration of the East-West pipeline reduces any urgency for Beijing's calls for restraint against Iran. Now, every Gulf state is siding with the United States and going all in against Iran, China's top proxy. And Pakistan sending those jets and upwards of 13,000 troops to Saudi Arabia is another symbolic blow to China. Pakistan, you see, was a crown jewel of China's Belt and Road Initiative, and Pakistan sending assets to Saudi Arabia was not likely done with Beijing's approval. This is Pakistan hedging its allegiance and situating itself toward a more Saudi, U.S.-centric Middle East against China's proxy, Iran. So, decades of Chinese foreign policy was just flushed down the drain this weekend. Beijing has spent painful years positioning itself as the sophisticated alternative to America's chaotic and declining interventionism. They've used this language for years. But when put to the test, America showed up with our gunboats and China slunk into the shadows. Its help as useless as its radar systems. Things could not possibly look worse for Beijing as they stare down the barrel of an upcoming summit with Trump next month. This is the Trump doctrine in perfect form.
Macron to host a video call with other EU leaders, and Ursula von der Leyen to push for a coordinated approach on banning social media for minors. Matthew Lane is just one example of what cybersecurity experts, authorities, and even Lane himself say is a wide-ranging menace, a new generation of tech-savvy teenagers who are uniquely dangerous and surprisingly young. Oh, this sounds interesting. You a hacker, my boy?
I wouldn't say everyone needs prison, but I think I need to go to prison for what I did.
Dang, what you getting into, buddy?
Matthew D. Lane.
Shortly after graduating high school, this Massachusetts teenager, Matthew Lane, helped launch what's been called the biggest cyber attack in U.S. education history.
Dang, bro. Not bad.
Hacking PowerSchool, a student-teacher portal used by 80% of school districts across North America. The company paid millions in ransom, hoping to recover what Matthew and an accomplice potentially compromised, the sensitive information of 60 million students. The company later saying it paid the ransom because it was in the best interest of our customers. Matthew, now just 20 years old, sat down with ABC News for an exclusive interview 2 days before reporting to federal prison for a 4-year sentence.
Wow.
Are you not scared?
Yeah, of course I'm scared.
For Matthew and so many others like him, his gateway to cybercrime was a gaming platform that most every teenager knows, Roblox.
Of course.
Every game is built by the community.
Every hacker is a gamer. And that's because it's
pretty much.
It's the same mentality. It's spotting patterns.
I mean, they start out as gamers and then hacking becomes kind of the new game. It's more fun than any game could ever be.
It's solving puzzles. It's breaking rules. The bad guys are on all the platforms.
It's gaming in the real.
Watching the kids playing. And when they see an elite level performer, they go approach that kid masquerading as another kid and they go, hey, you want to earn some crypto? Here are the tools. Here are the techniques.
Experts warn this new generation of cybercriminals is uniquely dangerous and shockingly young.
Individuals as young as 14 are being interviewed by the FBI.
This 17-year-old
to work for them or
year-old from Wisconsin told police.
Probably. I mean, I'm sure they pick him up under pretense of arrest first. But I bet you they offer him jobs. They'd be stupid not to be honest. If I were them, that's who I'd be offering jobs to.
Police that hacking was as
at least in certain cases. I mean, obviously you can't go with a complete psychopath, but you find a talented kid who's maybe just off on the wrong path a little bit, needs a little nudge in the right direction.
Hobby.
When was the last time you hacked someone's account?
Less than a week ago.
He then targeted 60
bright kids. They could do great things.
1,000 accounts at the massive sports betting platform DraftKings. He pleaded guilty to a computer intrusion charge and was sentenced to 18 months behind bars. When this Tampa man was younger, he stole millions in cryptocurrency, turning it into cash that was sent to him at his parents' home.
It would come in like vacuum sealed packages. My mom would go to the mailbox and she sees my mail and she just puts it on my bed, but she doesn't know it's $100,000 in cash.
He's served 27 months in prison and now dedicates his life to making sure others don't do what he did.
What would you tell this?
Did you get a nice like stash of cash though, my man?
Kid now.
Did you make it out with a little something?
Don't start hacking.
Matthew Lane agrees, pleading guilty to several hacking-related charges.
I'm so thankful I got caught.
Oh,
I really am, because I would have never stopped.
Just unreal. Now, we reached out to Roblox, which told us...
I bet. I mean, it's got to be addictive, like, having that kind of sway over, well, whatever you choose. Like, it's especially a young kid like that, just fresh, pumping full of testosterone, wanting to conquer something, anything. Because, you know, the real world doesn't let you do that anymore as a young man. What do you do but go conquer the digital space, you know? It's seductive. Fun. Eric Swalwell has submitted his resignation to the House Clerk.
On the third occasion, I believe he drugged my drink.
We already saw this, obviously, but man, oh man. Oh, cool. Fly over by the Blue Angels, Pensacola Beach. That's great. What a kid.
What the?
That'd be me. That would totally be me. Okay. X Safety. A few hours ago, we strictly prohibit users from generating non-consensual explicit deepfakes and from using our tools to undress real people. Oh yeah, that was a thing for a while. Probably still is. XAI has extensive safeguards in place to prevent such misuse, such as continuous monitoring of public usage, analysis of evasion attempts in real time, frequent model updates, prompt filters, and additional safeguards. Oh, Dana White on the UFC at the White House. Not $1 of taxpayer money will go into this. The UFC's gift to the 250th birthday of America.
Okay, should we talk about this a little bit more? This looks fantastic. Obviously spectacular that sport is getting the opportunity to do this a lot.
Is that what they're going for? Is that what that's going to look like?
Live from the White House lawn. A lot of people have made a lot of conversation about you guys having.
That's pretty stinking cool, man. Is he going to like come out on the balcony and
to foot the bill completely? Obviously, this is not coming from tax dollars. And whenever it comes to attendance, I assume there's a lot of checks that have to go into being able to watch this, especially with how close you are to the most important place in the United States of America. How has that whole process gone? And what are some lies you think that are out there that you want to kind of just like settle right now about Freedom 250 that are potentially looming, if that makes sense?
Yeah, we're paying the entire bill on all of this. Everything that you're seeing, not $1 of taxpayer money will go into this. And this is the UFC's gift to the 250th birthday of America. And I think one of the myths that I would like to crush is, I don't care if you're far right, far left, right down the middle, wherever you sit politically, because everybody sits somewhere politically these days. This isn't about politics. This is about the United States. You know, what this country is about, how it was built, where we all came from. If you love America, you're going to love this event. It has nothing to do with politics. We just happen to be in the White House lawn and the President of the United States.
I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be pretty cool.
We'll be there. So across the street from, and it's not far, from this structure, you know, about 100 feet over across the road is the Ellipse, which is a massive park. And right now, people are already going UFCFreedom250.com. Over 70,000 people have already, you know, put in to try to get tickets. Tickets are free at the Ellipse, but it will be a
what is it? A field?
Like a lottery.
Is it a field?
Like a lottery.
Is it a field over there? Where would they be at?
Yeah, it's a park. It's a big field. It's a park, you know, and there'll be more than 100,000 fans throughout the weekend, you know, participating in everything that goes on. It's like a 2-day fan fest at the Ellipse, which will include the press conference, ceremonial weigh-ins. Zach Brown Band is going to be playing over there all day. Ooh. Celebrity guests, fight night watch party.
I got some good friends.
That's going to be a fun time. Oh my God, they wheeled him out. He's back again.
You know, I got married in Scandinavia after my first year in law.
What? You're going to have to try that again.
You know, I got married in Scandinavia after my first year in law school.
Eh?
You know, I got married in Scandinavia after my first year in law school.
You and Mo got married in ScanMass and merit in law school?
You know, I got married in Scandinavia after my first year.
You know, I got married and scanned ass?
In law school.
Something about scanning ass. Something he probably has done his share of. No idea. I don't know what he was going for there. I'm not sure. Something about getting married and something about law school, and I don't know. Former President Biden's official portrait unveiled at Syracuse University. Look at this. He looks like a bumbling retard. Look at... They made him look geriatric, like dementia.
In coverage of former president.
Like, look at that.
In coverage of
as president.
He changed.
Goldman in. It was a full circle moment in Syracuse.
Must be one of those realist painters or something.
I can't tell you what an honor.
Huh? I don't know. JD Vance boarding Air Force 2, heading to Georgia for Turning Point talk with Erica Kirk. Okay, that's it. Japan is now selling acrylic stand figures of Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. When a button is pressed, the stand plays a voice recording of her saying, "Good night. I'll protect Japan while you sleep." In Japanese, of course.
大当たりは高市総理のアクリルスタンド。そのボタンを押すと。ゆっくりお休みなし。あんたが寝てる間も一本は私が守っとくから。かつての。
That is so Japanese. I love it. ICE offering a $10 million reward for info leading to the capture of Sinaloa cartel leader Ivan Archivaldo Guzman Salazar. Apparently Salazar and his three brothers, known as Los Chapitos, took over their father, El Chapo's empire. Trump tells New York Post journalist to stay in Pakistan, saying peace talks are so close they could break at any moment. All right.
Good afternoon. President Trump is confident enough that a peace deal between the U.S. and Iran can be reached in the next couple of days that he told a New York Post reporter on the phone just now to stay put in Islamabad, near where the Pakistan peace talks are taking place. The quote is this. The president said, "You should stay there, really, because something could be happening over the next 2 days, and we're more inclined to go there. It's more likely, you know why? Because the field marshal is doing a great job." Good afternoon. President Trump is confident enough that a peace deal between the U.S. and Iran can be reached in the next couple of days that he told a New York...
Interesting. All right. Yep, I heard today it's coming like 2 days or something. Anthropic reportedly preparing to launch Claude Opus 4.7 and a new AI design tool as soon as this week. Sign me up, man. Bring it on. I got stuff to build. Let's go, let's go. They've been nerfing the shit out of the current model, Opus 4.6. Everyone's been complaining about it. I've been experiencing it's been like bad. Turned into a moron overnight. From the smartest model out there to babbling idiot. Usually seems to happen every time they're about to update to a new model. I don't know if it's because they're like slowly shifting all the data center throughput to like the new model, taking it away from the old one, getting ready for launch or something. I have no idea. NeoSci80 says PSB X page is at Real PSB News, right? Yes, that would be it. It's the one. Here. Yep, that's it. There you go. Okay, where did we leave off here? The tool is said to create presentations, websites, landing pages, and products from natural language prompts, which helps explain the pressure on... Oh, are Adobe and Figma taking a dump today? Bet they are. I don't know why. You can use both of these with Claude or ChatGPT. They work great together. Let me see. Adobe. Oh, yeah, look at that. A little bit. Yeah, this newest version is really going to be something, though, I'll bet. If you've ever wanted to build something, now's kind of the time to do it, while it's still semi-affordable to normies. Before they really stop subsidizing regular people. I'm getting my building in now. Embattled Rep. Tony Gonzalez has officially resigned from the House of Representatives. Him too. Bye-bye. Effective tonight at midnight. Oh, speaking of, how y'all liking the new look? How's that been working? Any like goofy bugs or anything I need to know about? Any goofy anything I need to know about going on with the display? Anything I maybe ought to change? Should I slow the scrolling down a little bit more? Tell me what I need to adjust. Colors, color scheme. Full quality there. Okay. Oh boy, that's getting all goofy with me sharing the screen like that, but like the red, white, and blue. Easier on the eyes and the show. Yeah, I like the. This is pretty happy I was able to pull that off with the show info. Like, not bad, right? I would, yeah, slow the scroll a time. I was just thinking that too, and I just pulled it up. I think it needs to go down another like maybe 10%. 12-hour clock. What's it at now? Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. Yeah, we'll change that to AM PM. Let's we will tell you what, we will dial in the scroll speed right now. The place everyone is happy with. Any other changes? While I'm at it, the clock, we'll do the clock too. Okay, let's see. We need ticker and change the clock. And the date needs to be bigger. Times on the without okay. We'll see how that does here in a minute. I'll come back to that in a second. We'll check on the improvements. What's up next? We'll go up to last minute stuff here. Maybe any more details on Swalwell. 7-Eleven plans major store closures across North America mid restructuring effort. Really? Don't close the one by me, please. I like that. It's been there all my life. I don't want it to go. It's open 24 hours. I can ride my bike to it or walk, and I love it. And if it goes, there's nothing else to replace it. So, like, don't close that one, please. Pretty please. There's no way they're going to close it. It's such a popular freaking store. Pete Ducey reports Trump just told a New York Post journalist to stay in Pakistan. We saw Trump and Republicans working families' tax cut, putting more money back into the pockets of American workers.
Tax day is tomorrow, and if you've
That's right.
been putting it off, this may be a good reason to take care of it. The IRS estimates the average refund increased 11% compared to last year, going from around $3,100 to $3,500. That's partially due to some new tax deductions that are in effect, including no taxes on tips or overtime. These deductions reduce taxable income and allow tipped workers to deduct up to $25,000 from qualified tips.
Hey.
Ralph Hirschberger and Jan Nichols say they're going to use their tax refund for some home repairs.
A roof to start out with, and then we can move to the kitchen, and a new sink would be nice.
They tell us the new sink.
Wish I could say I was getting a nice one, but no. No such luck. All right, let's pop back here and check. Gotta refresh it. Should be done. There we go. Good. Times are a little bigger. That's 12-hour format, AM, PM. Date's a little bigger too. Maybe see if I can get it to bump that Vaughn chat size down a little bit. What else was there? Oh yeah, we slowed the scroll down on the ticker. Biden awkwardly pulls trustee into spotlight. Calls him Barack at failing. Fearless attorneys request delay of House. That's probably about right. A little bit slower than standard reading speed. Cool, I dig it. We'll keep messing with it and shifting things around here and there. But I'm pretty happy with that. It's not bad. Okay, I think we're at the top of the hour here. So that probably does it for me. Yep, Sketch here. How you doing, sir? What's up?
Oh, I'm here. I
There he
made
is.
it.
What's
I'm
up,
here
man?
today. I made it.
Cool. How you been?
Just been dealing with some coughing, congestion, the
Oh,
allergies.
no.
I think they sprayed us with a bunch of chemicals recently. A
Gross.
bunch of people dealing with it.
What part of the country you in, roughly?
Texas.
Texas? Oh, oof.
I'm in north central Texas.
You
Yes,
hear,
sir.
hear a lot about that kind of stuff going on there. That sucks. Ugh.
They don't like us because we're all Republicans and red and all that.
Yeah. Well, suppose I will get out of here and let you get to it, man.
So real quick, what were you doing with that? What was that thing, the background that you were just doing a while ago?
Oh, I was adjusting the on-screen display for the live stream.
So what people see.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we now got a like a little thing at the bottom that shows the upcoming show and what time slot it's in, whatever show's on now. Live chat in the same spot. Everything just looks a little more updated.
Okay, gotcha. What program is that?
I coded that in HTML with Claude Code.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Yeah, it's fun.
I
Total
used
blast.
to do HTML when I had a MySpace.
Yeah,
So-
those were the days, weren't they? God, man, I almost forgot about that.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was. I know. I miss those days.
Back before they took over the internet.
Yeah, back when things were free and fun. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm out of here, man. It's all you. I'm gonna go get a bite to eat. I'm starving, so.
No worries. God bless you, brother. You have a good one.
Yeah, back at you, man. See you guys.
Later on. Hello.
Right. That's it for me, YouTube. I'm done. I will be back. What is today? Tuesday? So tomorrow evening. I got a dentist appointment tomorrow, y'all. Oh God, I don't want to. Oh, it's the worst. So it's nice to get it done, I guess, but like, yeah, it's gonna be my morning tomorrow, so we'll see how I'm feeling in the evening. Adios. You guys have a good night.